Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Katie Rebagliati. Will Manzik will have a look at the latest highlights in sports later in the show. But first, do you want to tell us what we can expect, Will? Well,
we had a crazy NBA trade deadline as well as a local snowboarding competition just at Windsport.
Awesome. I love when stuff is local for us. Keith Driver is outside enjoying the sun today. Keith, how is it feeling out there?
Well, Katie, the sun is just hiding out behind the clouds currently, but it's slowly peeking through. Our high today is 0 degrees, but because of that low wind, it is very comfortable outside. Our last year's high was 13, which is only 1 degree off from the records that were set in 1926 and 1928. I'm very thankful that it's not the low of 1939, which was minus 41 degrees. I'll be having more back in the studio. Katie?
Thanks, Keith. Now here's a look at today's top stories. Premier Danielle Smith is back in Alberta and met with reporters today at the McDougall Centre in downtown Calgary. The Premier finally spoke publicly about the email scandal last month and this week's meeting with the federal government and other premiers over the healthcare funding. Brett Quinn joins us from the newsroom. Brett, the Premier had a lot to say at the news conference this afternoon.
She sure did, Katie, from healthcare to energy. The meeting in Ottawa with the premiers included the federal government's proposed healthcare funding deal, which would see funding of $196 billion sent to all the provinces over 10 years. The funding Alberta will see alone will be over $500 million, and the premier says that the funding will be applied to reforms to the healthcare system that the UCP government has already begun, including reducing emergency wait times and EHS offload times. On top of talking about healthcare, Premier Smith remained laser focused on the energy sector.
With the Prime Minister was positive overall. I made it very clear that his government must halt introduction of its proposed just transition legislation, its emissions reduction cap, and its ban on electricity from natural gas, and to immediately come to the table to work collaboratively with Alberta.
Smith says that if the Prime Minister moves forward with just transition without Alberta's involvement, Alberta will be swift in its opposition. The premiers are set to meet Monday to discuss the deal, where they will put forward amendments and hash out a deal. Back to you, Katie.
That was Brett Quinn reporting live from the newsroom. The Alberta government is working with SafeGen to motivate students to explore building careers. The government is providing $150,000 to workplace safety training for high school students. With this advancement, it will help students prepare for the high-demand industry and help them build good habits for their future careers. The cost of post-secondary school means students must work and go to school at the same time. This can occasionally affect their academic performance. But the province has expanded their bursary program called The New Beginnings, which will help get more low-income students into the nursing programs. Dulce Abella is covering the story and joins us from Mount Royal University. Dulce, will this really be a door opener for many students?
That's right, Katie. I'm currently here at the simulation lab of the nursing program at MRU, and just by looking around this lab, I can tell that they really train their nurses to be prepared or ready for a variety of situations, and that will certainly going to get them well set up for the many jobs available in the province.
Nursing students I know have to spend their time focused on working.
The Alberta government has allocated $8.5 million to help fund nursing students in Alberta, especially those struggling financially. The announcement comes as Alberta is still working to increase the number of nurses employed in the province as the health system struggles to keep up with the demand for services. The fund will be added to Alberta's New Beginning bursary, which was established last year.
In total now, 1,700 low-income students have received the $5,000 New Beginnings bursary for the 22-23 academic year.
The program has received $17 million in total investment, and by the end of the 2023 to 2024 academic year, 3,400 low-income students will have benefited from this program. The province says the recipients will be chosen based solely on their eligibility for student loans under the program and their financial situation. It's something that would have been welcomed by nursing students now in their 3rd and 4th years who were really financial pressured the last couple of years.
It would have taken so much stress off my shoulders during schooling and allowed me to really hone in on my studies instead of spending all my free time working.
Support like this could mean that we may not need to work so many hours at our part-time jobs, dip into our savings, or draw as much from student loans.
This funding is definitely beneficial, especially to the nursing students who are studying at University of Calgary. They are facing another 8% hike this fall, and tuition has already increased dramatically since 2019. Back to you, Katie.
That was Dulce Abella reporting from the Mount Royal University. 3 Calgarians were arrested and charged, followed by a drug trafficking investigation. The investigation started last summer after a tip from the public. Police searched 2 cars and 2 homes, the first home being in the 900th block of 16th Avenue Southwest, and the second home being in the 800th block of 4th Avenue Southwest. The items that were seized are a loaded handgun, over 30 rounds of ammunition, powdered cocaine, crack cocaine, and $700 in cash. The 3 people that have been charged of these crimes will appear in court later on in this month. We are heading into spring, and that means many people are getting outside with their pets once again. Dog parks like Roxborough are especially busy, but Alex McLeod reports it seems someone might not want the animals there.
The Roxborough Off-Leash Park is a great place to take your dog out for fun. Many owners enjoy the scenery, but this recent picture is leaving some worried.
I can never understand why someone would want to do such a cruel thing, so it seems kind of bizarre.
There was no other information left, so it could just be a cruel hoax, but some are worried for other dogs.
My dog is pretty good, so he doesn't chew on too many things, but I think for puppies and dogs that aren't trained as good, maybe for them it would be a bit more difficult.
Vets say it's rare for dogs to be poisoned, but when they are, it's usually one common way.
I would say the most common would be in a piece of meat, because that's the most likely thing they're going to eat and get enough of it.
There are many warning signs to look out for, including restlessness, nonstop panting, wobbly, drooling, and stiffening of the body. There's only one thing vets recommend if you think your pet is experiencing this.
Straight to emerge, and they will triage them and get them in immediately because it's really time sensitive.
Even a stick like this can make your dog sick, so keep an eye out. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Alex McLeod.
As SAIT prepares for its upcoming open house, high school students are also excited to see what SAIT can offer to further their education. As Irene Tagama reports, many students at Eastern Manning High School are planning to take part in these tours here on SAIT campus.
I'm very excited to go to the open house.
High school students can't wait to come to SAIT for its upcoming winter open house. Students looking forward to furthering their education are hoping SAIT will give them the information they need and the options they can have once they leave high school.
I think it's important to have those conversations with instructors in person and be able to get a feel for student life and culture.
To see what the place has to offer, as well as to see the programs.
I'm also excited to look at their programs, like their video production program and the television program. I'm very interested in those.
At Ernest Manning High School, the film and broadcasting students are taught hands-on. Journalism and broadcasting instructor Brendan McDermott sees this as an opportunity for students to learn more about where they want to be.
The upcoming SAIT Open House is a fantastic opportunity for students to explore the campus, meet instructors, figure out kind of what they want to do for their post-secondary adventures post or after high school.
High school students are ready to learn more about their chosen career, and that means SAIT has a lot to do to prepare themselves for this upcoming event.
An event like this of scale and magnitude takes months to prepare, so my team has been working on this really since we ended the last event in October. So it takes a whole team of people to make it happen. All the schools, all the departments contribute with their input and their planning, and we'll all be setting up tomorrow in time to be welcoming people on Saturday.
As of this moment, there are over 5,000 people who registered for the SAIT Open House this weekend. It hoped that it will translate into about 1,500 new applications. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Irene Tagama.
One thing that draws these students to SAIT is that SAIT is a hands-on school. The business program lets students experience this by a project called Biz Cafe. It is a website where you are in charge of running and owning a cafe. They deal with many things like buying products they will use, finances, and even employment. Students seem to enjoy this project as it gives them a taste of what it's going to be like to run a business, which is exactly what SAIT hopes it would do. The main reason students are enjoying this project is because they get the opportunity to put what they are learning into practice.
And part of the process that they work through is making business decisions around a number of different business functions, so management, human resources, supply chain, marketing, as well as overall decision making in terms of some of the bigger things that happen within a business.
Not are only teachers happy about this assignment, but students can't wait to get started on this simulation with the business to get a feel of what it would be like to be in the real world. The town of Cochrane is one of Alberta's newest boom towns. While its population grew during the pandemic, its local economy is just now following. With the local tech company expanding its base of operation, it will not only be adding over 200 tech jobs to the town, it will add new jobs will help develop parts of Cochrane, which will help people build buildings such as the new library, the downtown core, and the pedestrian line of the CP line. Pedestrian crossing for the CP line. Local businesses will also see an increase of Cochrane's population as it grows over 6,000 new residents.
Most of them, I know them for when I was started in band, like for example in Bab and Canmore. I have lots of people knowing them moving in Cochrane. It's a big help in my business because more people, more business to come.
It is currently unknown when the construction of this new library will break ground, but the construction of the Cochrane's downtown core and the pedestrian crossing will begin by the end of the month. Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, Keith Shriver has a look on what's going around Calgary this week.
Calgary Folk Fest is bringing a weekend of music to Calgary's downtown core. With local bands playing in Englewood and Olympic Plaza, come out and embrace the elements. Times vary from each venue. Ever wonder how we put our shows together? Come find out at the SAIT Open House this Saturday. Take the next step in your education and get that hands-on experience so you can be equipped for your industry of choice. Register online and we'll see you Saturday. Winter's not over yet with the Kenora Community Winter Festival. Sleigh rides and free skate rentals will be accompanied with live music Sunday, February 12th. Come see what happens beneath the ice when the Bow River is frozen. Join the Aquatic Canine Unit and learn how invasive species affect the Bow River with games and interactive activities. Award-winning studio Eagle Vision Video Production premieres its documentary, Unacceptable. Unacceptable takes a look at the 2022 Freedom Convoy. Doors open 6:30 at Canyon Meadows Cinemas. Tickets are available at the door.
Welcome home. What took you so long?
Every single Wednesday, Rumble House hosts an open house auction for their community to auction off their artwork. Beginner or experienced, Rumble House invites artists of all skill levels to participate in their weekly events.
To get involved in our events, call or text 403-629-7424.
403-629-7424.
Or check us out on Facebook for more information.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry-standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back. We're going to be taking a quick look at our weather across the country, so come join me. We're going to go take a look. So down here in Vancouver, it is raining, as always in Vancouver around this time, but that's good news for us because that's going to be coming over the mountains. We'll talk about that later. The rest of the prairies do have a bit of a chilly wind coming through, which is why we're seeing cold temperatures in Regina and Winnipeg. Now moving over to the east, we're going to see some a very different story going on. Down here in Toronto, just off Lake Ontario, you have a nice cold, warm front coming in, bringing in that rain. However, that air pressure is being the cold air pressure is being pushed right up towards Ottawa and Montreal, where it is snowing for quite a bit there. Then we just do have a little bit of warm air out in the maritime area, especially around Halifax, and then going up to St. John, you are getting a little bit of that snow. So we have this weird little weather pattern coming in with all our pressures. But hey, we're all wanting to be somewhere warm right now, so let's go take a look at our resorts. Palm Springs is a sunny 22 degrees, while the island of Barbados is 26 and raining. Moving west, Cancun and Honolulu are both a comfortable 27 degrees and sunny. Break out that sunscreen because Orlando will be a blazing 30 degrees. Meanwhile, Las Vegas will have sun and be a comfortable 16 degrees. Calgary's temperature today is going to be looking at around a -6, but it is starting to warm up a little bit. The conditions were sunny earlier, but that cloud is coming in, and well, the rest of our week, especially going to the weekend, are going to be sunny. Now, taking a look at the rest of the province. Now, what we have right now is a nice little Chinook that's kind of blowing all the way down through southern Alberta, going in towards Medicine Hat, especially if you're down here in Lethbridge. We're getting a nice warm 7 degrees. Now, Edmonton up here, especially around the Musqueam area as well, you're just getting the little tail end of that Chinook. However, if you're up here in Fort McMurray, Fort McKay, Fort Chipewyan, it's going to be a little colder up here, still getting a bit of that snow. But that's not too bad. Hey, that's Alberta weather for you. Hopefully we'll be getting something a little nice, although we are going to be seeing that nice Chinook coming through with that low pressure system keeping it a bit cloudy. So we won't be seeing some sun just a bit, but that sun will still be there. Looking at our 5-day forecast. Our 5-day forecast right now, the low is going to be -3 degrees, a high of 6 tomorrow, and then it's going to be staying around there up until Sunday, where we're going to get that record high of 10. Monday is going to be still keeping that nice warm weather. So especially if you're coming out for that open house, it's going to be nice. We'll be looking at sports after the break.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that helped me live a better life and build a better future. Now I could finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Will Mazik joins us now for a look at the latest highlights. So what's going on in the sports world, Will?
Well, we had a crazy NBA trade deadline, as well as that Super Bowl is coming up, which is always a fun time of the year.
Definitely.
But first, we have like a local snowboard competition at Winsports. We're going to take a look at that.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Snowboarders worldwide are here in Calgary to take on the Snow Rodeo. Slopestyle and halfpipe events are ongoing as the men's and women's battled in the qualifiers earlier today.
The day started off rocky, as on the second run of the day, U.S. boarder Maddie Mastro took a nasty fall and would have to be stretchered off. The show would have to go on, as the woman would finish the day off smoothly, with Ono Mitsuki taking a dominant lead, winning both runs. Only the top 8 for the women will qualify for the finals. 4 Canadians would qualify, taking up the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 8th spots. Heading over to the men's side of things, we had a heated battle as only 10 of 26 will qualify for the finals. After the first run, many boarders felt calm about where they were at.
Yeah, clean some stuff up, get some grabs, and go bigger.
While some of the men were having insane runs, others struggled on the first set.
Oh, I just pushed a little too hard off the wall, landed deep, so I just gotta finesse it, try and find that happy sweet spot. You know, there's a lot of speed in there today, so I'm not too worried about getting the tricks around, but just gotta try and land smooth. And
unfortunately for the Canadians, no men qualified, the closest being the laid-back Derek Livingston, as he pulled in at 13th.
The Snow Rodeo will run until Sunday, where you can see snowboarders shred out, and the men's and women's will compete all weekend long. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Spencer Milkey.
The Vancouver Canucks were down in New York taking on the Rangers in Madison Square Garden. Picking things up early in the first period, Mika Zibanejad one-times a shot on net, but it's stopped by Martin. The Rangers would then circle it around to Zibanejad again, who stopped again. And just mere moments later, Vincent Trocheck feeds Chris Kreider, who tips it past Martin for the 1-0 lead. Only a couple minutes later, and Capo Caco feeds Philip Scheidel for the 2-0 lead. What a shot. In the final minutes of the first period, Quinn Hughes feeds Connor Garland, who brings the Canucks within one. The Canucks are down 3-1 until Vasily Podkolzin beats Shesterkin to bring the Canucks within one again. But then Mika Zibanejad would finally put one past Martin for the 4-2 lead. The Canucks would score late in the third period, but would still fall short 4-3 against the Rangers. Both Hughes and Miller would record multiple assists. That's not all for the Canucks, as defenseman Luke Schenn has his name swirling in trade rumors. With the Canucks struggling, the team is looking to sell, and one of those pieces is defenseman Luke Schenn. The 33-year-old Saskatoon native is being seen as a lucrative piece to pair on the second or third defensive pair. Schenn is in his 15th NHL season and in the final year of his contract. The three main front runners are the Calgary Flames, the Boston Bruins, and Tampa Bay Lightning. And now with the Flames defenseman Rasmus Andersson being listed as day-to-day, the Flames seem poised to pick up Luke Schenn at this year's trade deadline. Amidst the crazy trade time, the Raptors were taking on the Spurs in Toronto. With under 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Pascal Siakam bullies his way in close for the layup. And just a minute later, Fred VanVleet nails this deep three to give the Raptors an 8-point lead. Now picking things up in the second quarter, and Siakam is back to working the body when he spins loose for another layup. Now in the fourth quarter, with the Raps up 10, Siakam nails another bucket to extend the Raptors' lead. And just a couple seconds later, Siakam finds Precious for yet another basket. Richardson would sneak his way into the paint for this bucket to try and rally the Spurs, but then Siakam puts to bed any thoughts of the comeback with this amazing bucket to extend the Raps' lead to 12. The Raptors would extend their win streak to 3 as they defeat the Spurs 112-98. Siakam would lead the way with 37 points. Following last night's game, the Toronto Raptors would also acquire the Spurs center Jakob Poeltl. The Raptors are currently 26-30 and are looking to be pushing for the playoffs instead of tanking. The Raptors will acquire Poeltl for Khem Birch, a protected 2024 first-round draft pick, and 2 future second-round picks. Many thought the Raptors would sell for a better chance at the first overall pick, but following 3 straight wins, the Raptors appear to be buyers. This is Poeltl's second stint with the Raptors, because back in the 2018 offseason, the Raptors would actually trade Poeltl alongside DeRozan and picks to San Antonio in exchange for Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. There are still rumors surrounding some Raptors players like OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr. That was the only move done that day, as the Lakers would complete a 3-team trade with the Jazz and the Timberwolves. As the Lakers try to stay competitive this year, they have completed a trade to bring back a familiar face. The Lakers have acquired D'Angelo Russell from Minnesota alongside Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt from Utah. Minnesota will receive 2 players and 3 draft picks, while Utah will receive Russell Westbrook, 2 other players, and a 2027 top 4 protected pick. This is D'Lo's second stint with the Lakers. And in the late hours of the night, the Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns would complete a blockbuster trade that completely shook up the league. Following the Kyrie Irving trade, the Brooklyn Nets superstar Kevin Durant had requested a trade out, so the Suns took advantage and scooped up Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. Going the other way is Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks, and a 2028 pick swap. For the Suns, they look to be a beast in the Western Conference with a big 4 of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Kevin Durant. The Suns are 5th in the Western Conference and look poised to make yet another deep playoff run. But for the Nets, the once finals favorites are quickly dismantling after just making a super team a couple of years ago. It's that time of year again where the most exciting sports weekend is about to take place. Super Bowl 57 is just a couple days away. This is Patrick Mahomes' 3rd trip to the Super Bowl in his career. Mahomes is 1-1 in the Super Bowl, with his first win coming in Super Bowl 54, where he defeated the San Francisco 49ers. Whereas for Jalen Hurts, this is his first career trip to the Super Bowl, so he hopes to stun Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Coin toss is set for 4:30. Both teams are 16-3, and fans are expected to see some fireworks throughout the game. And that was a look at the sports world. You know, the Super Bowl is just an exciting time for everyone. Like, they even have Rihanna doing the halftime show, which is just perfect for you.
I know, I'm so excited about that. She hasn't performed in a while, and wish I could be there to see her live, but unfortunately that's not the case. After the break, we can explore the ups and downs of getting the proper nutrition as a student.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry-standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
Maintaining a healthy diet can be challenging at the best of times, especially when you are a student who has less time and less money. But with the right strategy, eating healthy can be easier than you think. Telly Hunt explores the proper ways to get proper nutrition as a student.
The life of a student can be very busy and stressful. As a result, one of the first things to be abandoned is good nutrition. The accessibility of fast food is often a reason one would overlook their diet.
It's really tempting whenever I'm at school or at work to just go and get fast food compared to preparing a meal, something healthy for later on.
Price has always made eating healthy a challenge, and the recent rise in inflation has made it even more difficult.
It's been really tough. I think we're seeing, prices in grocery stores, up 10 to 15%, and so it's had a tremendous impact every month.
Working on behavior change is the first step to ensuring your success. However, this isn't an easy task. One must constantly work at finding a routine and making it a habit.
So as long as you're with the mindset that it could take time, and actually writing things down and planning things, again, I'm going to go back to that lovely word, planning, and preparing in advance. And you might want to do that with a small groups. Some of the tricks, and you may have heard of this before, stick to the outer aisles on a grocery store because that's where all the basic ingredients are. Avoid the main sort of center aisles. And the more affordable items are your no-name brands.
Lindy Kennedy also recommends going to Canada's Food Guide website for more information and recipes that many people are unaware of. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Telly Hunt.
Tradition is really important and I'm always for it. We all know I'm kind of a stickler for certain things going on there, but I know we just came out of Christmas season and that's not good for nutrition, but I know Super Bowl is really not. It's full of pretzels and chips and nothing really nutritious there. But what do you guys think you're going to snack on during the game?
Well, mine's definitely not nutritious. We're looking at like chicken wings, chips and salsa, popcorn. Who knows what else really?
Oh man, you're making me think of chicken wings. There's this great shop in Banff I love going to all the time. But although I've been eating like crap lately, so I do need to make sure I go out to the grocery store, which I'll be doing later, especially looking at our 5-day forecast again. It is going to be nice and warm this week, especially if you're going to be driving. Good road conditions, especially for me as I go out to Banff. On the weekend, Sunday's going to be that nice, lovely 10 degrees. Although, with that in mind, Valentine's Day is coming up. So if you are thinking of celebrating early, beat the rush, this weekend is going to be a nice romantic time, especially if you want to sit down by the river later at night. It's going to be a really good week if you aim for the Sunday, Monday time as well. And speaking of Valentine's Day, what are you two doing?
To be determined, really.
That's a good question. One of the million things I do in my life.
No, that's fair. I'm still debating on how I'm going to go for dinner, or if Irene and I are going to go to a music concert, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But gotta love the nice weather. Hopefully, patio season will be creeping up on us soon. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching SAIT Newsfile. We'll be back next week.